Trey love to lay down. His foot go right here. Like, what are you doing?
The only thing I want to get that type
Yeah, that's kind of just
not natural, bro.
I'm down for that.
Yeah, that's no meat, but that's no meat though.
Well, Sabbath peace.
Sabbath peace.
It's another opportunity for us to come together and hear and learn the word of truth that's given to us by the Most High God. We know all honor goes to the Father through the Son, whose name is Yahushua. In him lies the only hope for salvation. We know it's obtained by grace through faith, not of works, lest anyone should boast. Given freely as a gift to all those who obey him. But if we do not obey him, it is made manifest or made obvious that we do not believe and that we are already condemned. In this state, we should expect no good thing from the Most High. However, everything that we do get, whether it's a gift of tongues, gift of prophecy, or any supernatural experience that we may have, it can and it will be used against us in the day of judgment. With that said, we say peace to the saints in the room and to our dear saints that didn't make it, but no peace to the wicked. The only thing we say to them is repent that they might live. With that said, let's go to Isaiah chapter 28. Isaiah chapter 28.
Is he snoring like probably already?
Yeah, but
I thought Tasha was asleep for a second. Don't you say already?
I need to start like that though.
Oh man, let me tell you about that.
So let me tell you why.
No, I'm just playing with you. Hey,
No, you snore like that. Yes, you do. Still don't believe he snores, but he does.
Bro, when I went to Hawaii, we did the whole family. Moms, pops, Antigone, Andy. I was like,
yeah, that's great. Isaiah chapter 28, verse 9.
whom shall he teach knowledge?
Mm-hmm.
And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line upon line, here a little and there a little. For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people, to whom he said, this is the rest, wherewith ye may cause the weary to rest. And this is the refreshing, yet they would not hear.
Mm-hmm.
But the word of the Lord was unto them, precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line upon line, here a little and there a little, that they might go and fall backward and be broken and snared and taken.
All right. So it was given to them for something that it would be difficult for them to understand. It was given to them in a different language, another tongue, or stammering lips. Right. And for the ones that would not hear, it became a trap for them, a snare. Right. So that's always what we want to consider, always what we want to look at. We talked about last week that in the end we'll be judged by the books, right? We always go to Revelation 20 and it talks about how we'll be judged by the books. So it's judgment based off of the things that we hear, the things that we read, things that we know, things that we're taught out of this book. So it's important for us to know it. It's important for us to understand it. And then after we know it and understand it, it's important for us to walk in it. All right, let's go to Revelation chapter 3. This is Revelation chapter 3, verse 8. I need my tablet back.
Oh, bro,
Yeah, but
no son
the
of
marriage is broken.
Oh, broke. I didn't hear that.
Oh, you did.
Do we have a problem? I have a tablet I don't use. Probably won't be as good as what you're using.
They offered me another free one, so I'm just gonna get it. But I think I still have to keep paying for this one, which is the way I thought about it. So it's almost like $15 a month. So I'll be paying $30 a month for one tablet. That's how I have to look at it to make it make sense in my mind.
Won't you get fixed?
I never considered that option. Maybe I'm giving it some thought. That's in there.
Always has the good idea.
How much would it cost to get it fixed though?
$20.
What's wrong with it? The screen's cracked?
Yes.
So it works, but the screen's cracked?
Well, because the screen is not cracked, it does not work.
Well, you don't have a problem then.
I do have a problem.
If the screen's cracked and it's not working, it's something more than the screen's being
Because the
cracked.
screen is not cracked, but it doesn't work. Exactly.
That doesn't make sense.
I cannot slide my finger up and down it with it to respond.
So the screen is not cracked.
The screen is.
You said it's
The screen is not cracked, it is shattered.
or the screen is cracked, but you view it as it cannot be cracked.
Crack means
Revelation 3.
This is Revelation chapter 3, verse 8. I like the way you think.
I know thy works. Behold, I have set before thee an open door, and no man can shut it. For thou hast a little strength, and hast kept my word, and hast not denied my name.
So you see what he said there? He said that he set before us an open door, and nobody can shut it, right? And the reason why, because we had just a little bit of strength, right? But we kept he kept the faith. We haven't denied his name, all right? So that's what we look at when we hear the word, when we're taught the word, when we learn the word, when we understand it. Then we have to walk in and we have to keep it, right? We have to keep the things that he said. We can't deny it, right? We talked about before some ways that we can end up denying it. Sometimes we think, well, to deny God, that means you have to stand in a room full of atheists and say there is no God. Okay, yes, that's one way of denying God. Another way is sin, right? So either way, you're denying it, right? Either way, you're denying it, right? So when you're in that situation, right, you want to be able to not deny it. You want to be able to keep the faith, and you want to be able to not deny his name. All right, keep going.
Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience.
This ain't even where I want to go. Let's read that one more time. Yeah, we in the right spot now. Read that one more time.
Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan.
He said, behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan,
which say they are Jews and are not,
who say they are Jews, but they are not.
but do lie.
Why is he concerned about people who saying they Jews, but are not? He's not concerned about them saying they Muslims, not concerned about them saying they Christians, not concerned about them saying they white, black, Puerto Rican, Korean, none of that. The only thing he's concerned about is them saying that they're Jews and they are not. They do lie, is what he said, right?
Behold, and they do lie, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee.
He said, I'm going to make them come to worship before thy feet and know that I have loved thee. Keep going.
Because thou hast kept the word of my patience.
Oh, and now we know why, right? The whole reason that he's going to do this is because we kept the word of his patience, right? Keep going.
I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, and try them that dwell upon the earth.
All right. So that's what we look at, right? That's the importance. He said these same people that pretend to be us, right? That say that they are Jews and really they're not, they do lie. He said these people who put us down, who oppress us in a lot of ways, who discount us in a lot of ways, as if we don't even matter, right? He said he's gonna take these people who are living in our land right now, who would laugh at us if we went on national television and said, no, we the real Israelites, we the real descendants of the Hebrews, right? Those same people, he's gonna cause them to lay before our feet and he's gonna show them that we're the ones that he really loved, right? They're gonna kneel before us, right? And that happened not because God just chose us above anybody, right? That happens because we kept his word. All right, so that's what we want to get ourselves in the mind of, keeping his word, because in that there's a reward in the end of it. All right, and we should already know. I mean, we've been reading already. We started off. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 2. I think Jeremiah chapter 2 is the one that got the recap. Jeremiah 2. I don't know where it is. It probably starts at verse 1 or something, so it may not though, but whatever. We'll just start at verse 1.
The word of the Lord came to me.
They all start like that. We'll just figure it out. I know it's. I think it's chapter 2. So if we get too far down, and it's not, then we'll go somewhere else.
Where are you looking for? What part? What he said what?
Should be talking about Egypt.
Okay.
Just start at verse 1.
Moreover, the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Go and cry in the ears of Jerusalem, saying, Thus saith the Lord, I remember thee, the kindness of thy youth, the love of thine espousals,
Yes.
when thou wentest after me in the wilderness in the land that was not sown.
Mm-hmm.
Israel was holiness unto the Lord, and the first fruits of his increase.
All right, so he's talking about our beginnings. He's saying in the beginnings, we was holiness to the Lord. All right, keep going.
All that devour him shall offend. Evil shall come upon them, saith the Lord.
Right? He said he used to fight for us. He said if anybody try to get at us, oh, they gonna offend. Right there, they did some wrong. They tried to do it. Remember Balaam? I remember Balaam was in the wilderness, right? He spoke against he was hired to speak against our people. He said, I can't do it. Right. And so when he went to curse our people, then he had to give it up and speak to what the Most High God said and said, nobody is gonna curse them. Right? They actually gonna be blessed. Right? And so that's what we look at. That's how God fought for us at that time, because we was holiness to the Lord. Keep going though. Let's see what happened.
Hear ye the word of the Lord, O house of Jacob, and all the families of the house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, what iniquity have your fathers found in me, that they are gone far from me, and have walked after vanity, and are become vain?
Right? So the Most High God is asking, what did I do wrong? Right? What did I do wrong to cause y'all to just go out and do whatever you want to do, to believe all these lies? Keep going.
Neither said they, where is the Lord that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, that led us through the wilderness?
Right? So when we came out of Egypt, we just started rebelling. We didn't look to the Most High God and say, that was God that brought us out of there. Maybe we should do what he said. Right? He did all these things for us. He used to fight for us. We came out, and then we just forgot him when we started believing in vanity. All right, keep going.
They brought us out of the land of Egypt, that led us through the wilderness, through a land of deserts and of pits, through a land of drought and of the shadow of death, through a land that no man passed through, and where no man dwelt. And I brought you into a plentiful country to eat the fruit thereof, and the goodness thereof. But when ye entered, ye defiled my land and made mine heritage an abomination.
All right, so these are the things we did. Does it sound like we kept his word? No. So let's see what happens.
The priest said not, where is the Lord? And they that handle the law knew me not. The pastors also transgressed against me, and the prophets prophesied by Baal, and walked after things that do not profit.
All right, so he said the priests and the pastors. What? Read that part again.
Where is the Lord? The priest said not, where is the Lord?
All right, so the priest, the one thing that the priest didn't say when everybody was doing all this wrong, they didn't say, you know what? Where's the Most High God? Right? Where's Yah in this situation? They didn't ask that, is what he said. And let's hear about the pastors.
And they that handle the law knew me not. The pastors also transgressed against me, and the prophets prophesied by Baal, and walked after things that do not profit.
So the pastors, they was transgressing, they was sinning. And the prophets that prophesied by Baal, they were prophesying their lives like they usually do. Right? They didn't walk after the Most High God. All right, keep going.
Wherefore I will yet plead with you, saith the Lord, and with your children's children will I plead. For pass over the isles of Chittim and see, and send unto Kedar, and consider diligently, and see if there be such a thing.
No, he said, go to all these other countries. He said, just tell me if you've ever seen something like this. Look at what he's about to describe.
Hath a nation changed their gods, which are yet no gods? But my people have changed their glory for that which does not profit.
All right, so he said, you go to any one of these other nations. I mean, they stick to their false god. Right? He said, you go to these Hindus, to this day, these Hindus still worshiping their false god. Never change. These people who've been worshiping Buddha are following Buddha. They've been following Buddha for thousands of years. Never change. He said, our people though, we got the real one true God, and we change them up and leave them for all these others. He said, you've never heard of this stuff. You've never heard. It doesn't make any sense. He said, we just wicked. Keep going.
Be astonished, O ye heavens, at this, and be horribly afraid. Be ye very desolate, saith the Lord. For my people have committed two evils.
They committed two of them. Let's hear about it.
They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewed them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water.
Right? So not only have they left living water, then they went out and they tried to build their own holders of water, their own little bowls, right? And the bowls are broken, they can't hold water. So he said, you just made two big mistakes, crucial errors. All right, keep going.
Is Israel a servant?
He said that Israel is, read that. So look at what he asked here. Is Israel a servant? Which is a servant? What's another way of saying servant?
Slave.
A slave. Right? So is Israel a servant, and what else?
Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave?
Is he a homeborn slave? Why would he ask that question? How do we start out in Egypt?
Oh, slave.
Slaves.
When we start out, well, we ended up being slaves.
When he called us out of the nation, we were slaves, right? Then we go into Israel, right? What happens next?
It's not Assyria.
Assyria eventually comes, right? And what do we become? Slaves. And then, I mean, what happens after that?
Babylon.
Then Babylon comes, and what do we become? Slaves. Right? And then even after that, we haven't got to it yet, but even after that, we become slaves. Right? Let's go to Luke chapter 21, just so we can prove it. Huh? Even now, right? That's what comes after. This is Luke chapter 21. Yahushua told us. Luke chapter 21, verse 20. It's in Luke chapter 21, verse 20.
And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies,
Who's talking right now?
compassed with armies.
Who are we listening to? Anybody?
Who's talking?
Where are you? Living hall.
Real bad. Maybe you should pick up a Bible.
Who's talking?
It doesn't say.
Well,
Where you at?
the prince read. What does that usually mean?
We're in Luke.
This is Luke,
He's asking
right?
who's talking.
This is Luke chapter 21, verse 20. Who was talking? It's Jesus talking, right? Yahushua. So Yahushua, he's talking to us, and he's telling us some things about what's going to come in the times of the end, right? And so he tells us, what did he say?
And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh.
Right? He said, when you see all the armies surrounding Jerusalem, then you're going to know the desolation thereof is not. In other words, the whole place is about to get tore up, right? It's about to get broken down, right? Watch what he said now.
Then let them which are in Judah flee to the mountains.
He said, if you in Judah, oh, you better get your butt out of town. All right, keep going.
And let them which are in the midst of it depart out.
Mm-hmm.
And let not them that are in the countries enter therein too.
He said, don't try to come back in at that time. What's happening?
For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled.
He said, all things which are written may be fulfilled.
All things which are written may be fulfilled.
Okay, keep going. What did he say gonna happen next?
But woe unto them that are with child, and of them that give suck in those days, for there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people.
Yep.
And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into
You shall
all
be led away where?
captive into all nations.
Which means they become what?
Slaves.
Slaves. So that's why Yah asked a question back with Jeremiah. He said, is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Is this man always gonna be a slave? Because we have repeated slavery, right? We have repeated. How long were we in Egypt? What did you go say?
I thought it was before.
I don't know. You tell me. But let's say, how long does the Bible say we was in Egypt? Well, let's see.
470 years.
Exodus, yeah, I think it's Exodus chapter 12, verse 40.
I said, how long? That was in Genesis.
I thought it was
Genesis, we didn't go in Genesis. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about how long did the Bible say we were in Egypt?
Yeah.
So,
Oh, you talking about the prophecy? We can grab the
prophecy.
prophecy, yeah, Genesis 15. We'll grab that next. But Exodus is when we came out. It tells us we came out in 12, right? Yeah, we came out in 12 because in 12:1 it tells us the beginning of the month for us. So It should be about Exodus chapter 12, probably about, it's either 41 or verse 40. Let's get 39 just in case. What we got? What's our answer?
430.
430.
Oh, like a few generations ago, like what did you like Levi, Kohath, Amram, Moses.
Well, let's get that first. Well, let's talk about the generation. All right. Well, let's not do it backwards. Let's go to Genesis. We're gonna hold what we got there. Exodus 12. Let's go to Genesis 15 first. Because you're right. You know what I'm saying? Since you're talking about the generation, we might as well tackle that. So let's go to Genesis chapter 15. Verse what? Genesis chapter 15, verse I'm not exactly sure how it starts, but it
Know
would
for
say,
certain that your people will be.
what's before that though? Would it be darkness? They probably say something like, and he fell asleep and it was dark, or
No.
darkness fell over
Verse
him.
12.
And the sun was going down.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. This is Genesis chapter 15, verse 12. Genesis chapter 15, verse 12.
And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram. And lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs,
How many years?
and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years.
400 years, he said, they're going to be strangers in a land that was not theirs, and they will be served. They will serve the people, and they will be afflicted. He didn't just say just serve. He didn't just say be afflicted. He said they will be served and be afflicted for 400 years, right? Then what does he say next?
And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance.
He said, and afterwards they're going to come out with great substance.
And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. Thou shalt be buried in a good old age.
All right, watch this.
But in the fourth generation,
In what generation?
The fourth generation, they shall come here again.
He said, in the fourth generation, they shall come hither again. So now we know when they go into Egypt, they're going to be there until when? The fourth generation. So they would have 4 generations in Egypt. So let's see. And it also told us 400 years. All right, so we got 2 things that we got to look at. So let's go to Numbers chapter 26. I'm going to have to break out a marker on that book. Yeah. No, I don't think Chronicles got what I want. We could, maybe it do, but I think Numbers. I want to hear about the moms. What's her name? Jochebed.
Go ahead.
Let me get a marker. Numbers chapter 26, probably about verse 26.
The sons of Zebulun after their families.
I ain't looking at
Levi.
that. Yeah.
Levi.
If that's talking about Zebulun, it's probably way down. So maybe like 54, 50 something.
Okay. Amram's wife.
Yeah.
Family 58. These are families of Levites.
All right. So give me 57 just in case.
All right, so we got Numbers 26, 57.
So this is Numbers 26, 57.
These are the families of the Levites, the family of the Libnites, the family of the Hebronites, the family of the Malites, and the family of the Mushites, the family of the Kohathites, Korahites, and Kohath begat Amram.
All right, so Kohath begat who?
Amram.
Okay, so we have Levi who begat Kohath, and Kohath begat Amram, right? No, we're gonna need to write down the name. All right, keep going.
And the name of Amram's wife was Jochebed, the daughter of Levi, whom her mother bare to Levi in Egypt.
All right, maybe you're right. We do need to write down the name. So we got Levi. Matter of fact, so read that last part one more time, then I know where we're gonna go. So we got Levi.
And the name of Amram's wife was Jochebed, the daughter of Levi, whom her mother bare to Levi in Egypt. And she bare unto Amram, Aaron, and Moses, and Miriam their sister.
All right, then we got, what is it? D?
E-B-E-D.
Yep. All right, so now we got Jochebed, right? So Jochebed had a mom. So we just gonna write moms. We didn't get her name. All right, so Jochebed had a mom. And read that part again so we understand the role that her mom played.
And the name of Amram's wife was
So
Jochebed.
Amram's wife, so Jochebed was with
Amram, which is Levi's son.
Amram, right?
We'll draw a line down.
Nah, that's because he got somebody in between there. You know,
Oh, that's right.
Kohath. You know what I'm saying? So we got Amram married to Jochebed, right?
The daughter of
And then
Levi,
she had a mom. All right, and her mom did what?
whom her mother bare to Levi.
So her mom bore her to Levi. All right, so Levi is her husband's granddad. We gonna find out, right? So moms, Jochebed's mom, who married to Amram, bore her to Levi. In other words, she is with Levi. So moms was with Levi, and then they had Jochebed. That makes Amram. That makes Jochebed Amram's what? Whatever.
Like, well, I'm about
Okay, I'll take care of it. So that makes if moms got with Levi and had Jochebed, that makes her his what? His aunt, right? So that's his aunt. So Jochebed is Amram's aunt, right? So now what we're looking at is how many generations at that point?
And they're married?
Yes, they're married. How many generations at that point?
3.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 generations, right?
That wouldn't really work like that because of Levi's mom. That would be like 1, 2.
What was Levi?
Well, that's Levi's wife. You know what I'm saying? So that would be 1. That's the same generation as Levi, right?
I was thinking
What are you
Levi.
So,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So this would be 1
yeah,
and 2. I was thinking about Kohath.
yeah. So we gotta write Kohath in between there. That would be 2.
So let's go to Exodus chapter 6. That way we can get Kohath in there more clearly. And then we can get some ages in there too. I think Exodus gives us ages. This is Exodus chapter 6, verse 14. Let's see if we can figure all this out. Remember, we had 2 things we were looking at. 400 years, write that up there too. So let me get another couple. We got 400 years.
4.
Yeah.
9.
How's that like a 9?
Or Y.
I'll take a Y.
Yeah, your 4 and your Y looks identical.
Where's my Y?
So you got Y 00 years.
No, this,
Y generation.
this is my Y.
Identical.
No, that's straight. That's curved.
Okay.
Give me the eraser. Erase the Y. Or the 4. So we got 400 years or the 4th generation. All right.
We're trying to figure out
Those are 2 things that we're looking at.
how many years were Israel really in Egypt when they were slaves.
We try to just figure out what makes sense. Right? What makes sense.
Yeah.
Right?
So that's
Where we at? Exodus chapter 6, verse 14. After Exodus chapter 6, verse 14.
These be the heads of their fathers' houses, the sons of Reuben.
He said, these be the heads of their father's houses. He's going to talk about Reuben.
The sons of
When you
Reuben.
look down here, it gives us all the sons of Israel. Keep going.
The sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel,
Mhm.
Hanok, and Palu, Hezron, Carmi, and Carmi. These be the families of Reuben. And the sons of Simeon, Jemuel and Jamin, and Ohad, and Jacob, and Zoar, and Shaul. The sons of a Canaanitish woman. These are the families of Simeon. And these are the names of the sons of Levi according to their generations. Gershom and Kohath.
All right, so we have Levi, and one of his sons' name is what?
Gershom.
And then the other one?
Kohath.
All right, so let's hear about Kohath.
Gershom. And Merari. And the years of the life of Levi were 137 years.
So we know Levi gave birth to one of his sons named Kohath, right? Let's hear about the people who came from Kohath. Let's gonna tell us about some others first.
And the sons of Gershom, Libni and Shimei, according to their families.
So we got Gershom.
And the sons of Kohath.
Oh, let's hear who Kohath. Kohath had who?
Amram.
So this is our man here, all right? Keep going.
And Izhar and Hebron. And Uzziel in the years of the life of Kohath were 133 years.
All right, so he was 133. We got Levi age. So you should have told Levi.
Levi was 137.
137.
Them boys. Oh.
All right. Then what we got about? Let's keep reading. Let's get Amram's age.
And the sons of Merari, Melai, and Mushi. These are the families of Levi according to their generations. And Amram took him Jochebed, his father's sister, to wife, and she bare him.
So now Amram took who?
Jochebed.
And who? Which was his father's
sister.
That's because Levi and moms had Jochebed, right? So that would make her his sister and his auntie, right? So that was his father's sister, Jochebed. He married her. All right, keep going.
And Amram took him Jochebed, his father's sister, to wife, and she bare him Aaron and Moses. And the years of the life of
so
Amram.
now from them came Moshe. That's how you say his name in Hebrew. Moshe. That's Moses, right? So from them came Moses. So now how many generations we dealing with? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Just like God said to Abraham.
Let's get what Amram's age.
Amram.
Who got their calculator out? Somebody pull out their calculator.
The life of Amram were 137 years.
137. All right. Who knows how old Moses was when he brought us out?
80.
80 years old.
Everybody else had cracked
He didn't die when he was 80. He came.
Yeah, he died. He died, but
120.
Yeah, so he died at an old age too. But he was 80 when he brought us
And his
out.
vigor did not diminish.
His heyday, he is 80. You know what I'm saying? In his prime. You know what I'm saying?
He was 120, and his vigor did not diminish. So he didn't look old. That boy still looked like a young man.
So let's add these up. 137.
487.
487. What we doing with? That's pretty darn good, isn't it? So that's saying if these gentlemen all had their sons on their last dying day, right? That would equal to how much?
487.
Now that's not likely that they all had their sons on their last dying day, right? That would be like saying, hey, I'm 137 years old, but before I die, you know what I'm saying? Jochebed, you know what I'm saying? I mean, not Jochebed, Mom, you know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and get it on. Let's get us a Kohath, right? So he had Kohath at 137. Then Kohath, he lived his long life to 133. And he said, you know, it's my last year. Now let's have Amram. And Amram did the same thing with Moses. And then we would say that this generation, these 4 generations, took how long?
487.
487, right? So that would be 400 years at least in Egypt, right? That would make sense. All right, this would be 4 generations and 400 years in Egypt if they all had it the last day or at least later in their life like that. But now we got to think about some things, right? Now we got to go to, let's go to Genesis chapter 46, I think maybe verse 8. This is Genesis chapter 46, verse 8. Genesis chapter 46, verse 8. And remember, we still have to get all the way back to Exodus chapter 12, verse 40 or 41, one of those. Or we're going to do 39 just in case. This is going to be Genesis chapter 46, I think verse 8. And then after that, we're going to go to Exodus 12.
And these are the names of the children of Israel which came into Egypt.
All right, so these are the names of the children of Israel that came into Egypt, right? We got to think about this. Because remember, when we add these up, we're trying to get to 400 years and the fourth generation, all right? So we add these up, it comes up to over 400 years. That would mean that all these people would have to be in Egypt before they were born, all right? So now let's hear about who was already born when we came into Egypt. See if we have to adjust our numbers at all.
And these are the names of the children of Israel which came into Egypt, Jacob and his sons.
So Jacob, all right, that would be the pops of Levi. Try to stick on somewhere. You're cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, cool.
So now you have Jacob, right? So then the generation from Jacob would be
Reuben, Jacob's firstborn. The sons of Reuben, Hanok and Palu, and Hezron and Carmi.
right?
And the sons of Simeon, Jemuel and Jamin and Ohad, and Jachin and Zoar.
Okay.
And Shaul, the son of the Canaanitish woman.
And then guess who's next?
And the sons of Levi.
Now you have Levi. So Levi was already born when they went into Egypt. He said these are the names of the people that went into Egypt.
And he had kids.
So Egypt, he was already in there when they went into Egypt. Let's hear about Levi.
And the sons of Levi, Gershom, Kohath, and Merari.
So Kohath was already born, right? So we had Levi and Kohath already born. Let's say Kohath was a newborn. He was born, but I mean just newborn. So now we got to minus Levi's number, all right? Because he is already there. We can't count his time. We already have another generation starting to count, right? So we're going to start at 100, his first year of his 133. We're going to minus our 137. We're going to take Levi's years out of there because he is already born. So we already counting to the next generation. All right, what we dealing with there?
And the sons of Judah.
Hold on. What's our number?
Oh.
So basically we'll be adding one. So we got 133 plus 137 plus 80.
I didn't do 80. 350.
350. Is that 400? Is it any way possible that from with Levi already being born, that you can spend 400 years in Egypt with these generations, 4 generations? Wouldn't be possible. All right. So now let's go to Exodus chapter 12. It's 4 generations though, right? That's what that's the Most High God told us. Most High God told us with Abraham, he said, oh no, of a surety. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be there for 400 years. Right? He did tell us 400 years, and they're gonna be afflicted, right? And they're gonna serve the people. All right. Oh, and you're gonna go and you're gonna get buried, you know what I'm saying? You be good. But don't trip in the 4th generation, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna come out with great substance. So we got 4 generations, but we just don't have the 400 years. Right? We just don't have that 400 years. Right? We look at it now, Levi was already born and he had Kohath. Right? So the time can't count together. You know what I'm saying? We have to assume the only reason we can count this time together, you can't have, you know what I'm saying, like if I'm 20, hold on, 27? I'm 27, you know what I'm saying? Zahar is 1. Right? So if you count all the years that me and Zahar have been around, you can't add his 1 to my 27. Right? Because I had him when I was 26, right? 25, 26, right? So she got pregnant when I was 25, right? And then when I was 26, I had him. So now my 26th into my 27th year is coherent, or not coherent, it's concurrent with his first year, right? So they go in the same time, parallel, right? They run at the same time. You can't stack them on top of each other. So because of that, Levi already been alive. As soon as he had Kohath, that time is now running together. So now we have to start counting the Kohath. right? Wouldn't make sense for us to count his name, his time on top of his time. The only reason we did that before is because we were looking at, well, what if we just thought Levi waited to his last year, just trying to, so we can get the most time out of it. So now we're trying to get the most time from Kohath to Moses, and the most we can get was how much? 350? So the most we can get is 350 from Kohath to Moses, which doesn't equal 400 years. Now, when we go to Exodus chapter 12, verse 39.
And they baked unleavened cakes of the dough which they brought forth out of Egypt, for it was not leavened, because they were thirsty out of Egypt, and could not tarry, neither had they prepared for themselves any victual. Now the sojourning of the children of Israel who dwelt in Egypt was 430 years.
So watch what he said. He said the sojourning of the children. What's that?
It's not gonna work now because it's not there.
Close it.
What do you want?
It's not, the thriller video.
Okay, wait.
What are we talking about? I'm off.
430 years.
Oh, go ahead and read it for me.
Now the sojourning of the children of Israel who dwelt in Egypt was 430 years. And it came to pass at the end of the 430 years, even the selfsame day, it came to pass that all the hosts of the Lord went out from the land of Egypt.
All right, so how long was it? 430. So it says that our sojourning when we were in Egypt was 430 years. So if we read that, it seems like we were there for 430 years, right? So that seems to contradict what we're looking at. So now let's see if we can make a little sense of it. Let's go to Galatians, I think. Galatians 4. Goodness, I hope it's Galatians 4. Galatians 4 should be talking about
from the time to the promise.
Yep, exactly.
You said promise?
Yeah, from the time to the promise. So you should be talking about Abraham and the promise, and
It's a free woman promise. By promise.
should be in that chapter. Yeah.
There's probably a whole bunch of promises in there. What's the last verse in chapter 4?
So then, brethren, we are not children of the bond.
I keep turning my pages.
Yeah, I think you started 21.
21? That's where I want to start. 20.
It's in Galatians for sure.
Yeah, it wasn't in 4.
Yeah, they were running for it.
Give me Galatians 4, chapter 14. I'm sorry, Galatians chapter 4, verse 14.
And my temptation, which was
Is it 3?
despise not.
What do you see in 3?
Abraham and his seed were promises made. He has said not. I don't know. I saw Abraham and promise. I'm sorry.
That's cool. He talks about the mediation.
Start at verse 14 for me.
And my temptation, which was in my flesh, you despise not, nor rejected, but received me as an angel of God, even as Christ to you. Whereas then the blessedness you spake for if it had been possible, you would have plucked out your eyes and have given them to me. Am I therefore become your enemy because I'll tell you the truth? They zealously. Now I'll say that the heir, as long as he is a child, desires nothing from a servant. This differeth nothing from a servant, though he
Maybe it is 3. Give me Galatians 3. Galatians 3, verse 14.
that the blessing of Abraham might come to the Gentiles through Jesus Christ, for we might receive the promise of the Spirit through faith. I speak after the men, though it be but a man's covenant, that if it be confirmed, no man.
Yeah, right here. So this is Galatians chapter 3, verse 15. I think that should be it here.
Brethren, I speak after the manner of men, though it be but a man's covenant, yet if it be confirmed, no man disannulleth or addeth thereunto.
Right. So he said, even if it's a man's covenant, right? You can't change it, man. If I make an agreement, it's a contract. I make a contract. He said, you can't just walk up and be like, no, that contract is void. He said, even we have more respect for a man's covenant. He said, how much more God's is the point that he's trying to make. He said, if we signed a contract right now, the law gonna uphold it. He said, how much more the Most High God, right? Keep going.
Yet if it be confirmed, no man disannulleth or addeth thereunto. Now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made.
He said, unto Abraham and his seed, the promises were made. When were they made?
He said, not add and two seeds as of many, but as of one, and to thy seed, which is Christ. And this I say, that the covenant that was
the covenant, right? So he's talking about the promise was made to Abraham and his seeds. He said, this I say, that the covenant that was made when?
And this I say, that the covenant that was confirmed before of God in Christ, the law, which was 430 years after, cannot disannul that it should make the promise of none effect.
So he said the covenant came 430 years after the promise. So that number sounds familiar now, right? When we look at 430. In Exodus, it told us 430 years was the sojourning of the children, and they came out of Egypt, right? This is telling us what a covenant, which is us coming out of Egypt, because what happened when we came out of Egypt? We entered into the covenant with Moses, right? So when Moses brought us out of Egypt, we entered into the covenant. So he said that happened 430 years after the promise, right? So that 430 years that we read about in Exodus is not just talking about in Egypt. It's talking about our time in Egypt and our time with Abraham, right? So the whole time that we were sojourning and we came out of Egypt, right? So that's why we get that 430 years. And that's why a lot of people were in Egypt for 400 years. But we weren't in Egypt for 400 years, right? We don't know exactly how long we were in Egypt, but we know it can't be 400 years because it was 430 years from Abraham, right? And we count the generation from Abraham. We got Abraham, you got Isaac, you got Jacob, then you got all these, right? So then you have to squeeze all these in the 400 years. Matter of fact, you'd have to squeeze Abraham to Jacob in the 30 years, which wouldn't even make logical sense, right? And so we look right there more like 250 years, somewhere around there, right? And so that's how we know with the time that we're in Egypt. So now we go back to Genesis chapter 15, and he say, know of a surety. He didn't say it might happen. He says, know of a surety you will be. Let's read it again. It's Genesis chapter 15. I just thought for sure we were going to talk about Ezra tonight. We can talk a little bit about Ezra. Then we got to get back on track. This is Exodus chapter 15, verse 12. Genesis chapter 15, verse 12.
And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abraham, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterwards shall they come out with great substance.
All right, so now we got to ask ourselves, who in the world is he talking about? All right, he said that they're going to serve them for 400 years, and that nation who they serve, he's going to judge, right? It goes along with what we read earlier. He said he's going to make these people worship at our feet, all right, and know that he has loved us, right? Because these nations have served us, right? I'm sorry, these nations have caused us to serve them, so then they will serve us, right? Everything's going to be turned around, right? He's talking about this captivity that we're in now. that us being servants to not just one nation, many nations, but particularly in the United States. All right. How long have we been here? Should be like 390, 393, I think, from the official date that they give us. In 2015 now. 1619. 1611 with the King James.
396.
396. All right. So we got 4. I mean, that's their official. That's their official date. So we don't know if that's the actual date. All right. It could be next year. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? From whatever time God started clocking. Right. And we don't know what happens. It don't mean that at that year something cracking happens. Like, oh well, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't necessarily mean that either. All right. So we don't really know. It ain't nothing that we trying to keep track of to the point where we're okay, this is gonna happen in this year, the world's gonna end. We don't know what happens. He didn't tell us that the world's gonna end after we get out of captivity. Right? He just told us that we will be here 400 years. All right. Or he told Abraham, know of a surety that we would serve another nation for 400 years. Since we know that didn't happen in Egypt, then that prophecy is still outstanding, right? He got the 4 generations in Egypt. We've been here way longer than 4 generations, right? Way longer than 4 generations. So it don't meet that. So now we look at these as 2 separate prophecies, which is not unlike what God's done plenty of times before. He'll stick it, make it seem like it's all one prophecy, and that thing get fulfilled all in different times, right? And so that's what we look at here. So when we think about these things, the reason why we went over into this is because we look at when he gives us his word, it's difficult to understand, but if we keep it, right? If we keep it, then we're able to see amazing things, right? All these people, they didn't necessarily keep the word. He just fulfilled a promise to Moses, right? A promise that he had beforehand to Abraham, right? And he gave it to Moses. But because these people weren't in the promise and didn't obey the word, right? Then we get turned around and get into the position that we are now. So now he offered us a new promise through his son, right? And his son is saying, listen, if you do what I say, right, I will give you interest into the kingdom. All right, go ahead and go to, let's go ahead and go to John chapter 6, verse 44.
No man can come to me except the Father which I have sent me draw him,
Mm-hmm.
and I will raise him up at the last day.
Right.
It is written in the prophets, and they shall be all taught of God. Every man, therefore, that hath heard and hath learned of the Father cometh unto me.
All right. So he gives us the opportunity to hear and learn and to come unto him. All right. Once he does that, then he'll offer us an entrance into the kingdom. All right. So that's what we're here for. That's what we're here to know. It's little things like this that the Most High God reveals to us to give us information and to give us a perspective of looking at things that's different from a lot of the rest of the world. Right? A lot of the rest of the world don't have this information. Like this is the same stuff that's always been in our Bible. And you have the majority of people, you ask them how long we is in Egypt, 400 years. I said the same thing, 430 years that they really think they smart because they quote the Bible at that point. Right? But he didn't say we'll be there 430 years. He said 400 years. All right? That's what he told us. He said 400 years. And we add up our time and we know that's impossible that they can do it in this amount of time. Right? They couldn't have been there 400 years. All right? So that's what we look at. We know that this time is still outstanding. It gives us a perspective. It gives us something to look at, something to look forward to. But most importantly, it gives us a reason to obey. Right? It gives us a hope. All right? Let's go ahead and pray out.
I have a weird question.
What's that?
Well, because they used to teach us that, like, you know how in the beginning, how we said, like, day 1, he did this, day 2, he did this. They're like, well, God's days aren't measured like our days.
Oh, yeah.
Like saying a day to God can be 400 years to us, or like all this other kind of stuff they used to.
Well, now let's open up some Bible. Let's go. This is it's 2 Peter chapter 3.
Well, when people say that to me, they use it as an excuse not to believe like the word, like take it for what it says. You know what I'm saying? What do you say? Second what?
The 2 Peter chapter 3. Help me find out what I'm looking for. Maybe verse 4. It's probably lower than 4, but we'll start at verse 4. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 4.
And saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation.
Mm-hmm.
For this they willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of God the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water,
Mm-hmm.
whereby the world that then was, being overflown with water, perished. But the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men.
Mm-hmm.
But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day.
All right. So that's what we look at. All right. That's where they get that from. All right. God, the way God looked at a day is different from how we look at a day. All right. So this is exactly how a Christian who says we are there 400 years, right? That tradition is stuck inside of their mind. If we came to them with these numbers, this is how they would explain it. All right. They would use it to fill any gaps of what they can't explain. So that's where they get it from, right? He said one day is like 1,000 years to the Most High God for us, and vice versa for him. All right. So he's able, in other words, what the real point of what he was trying to say, or what he was saying, the real point of what he was saying is don't get to looking like, oh, it's been a long time, right? Because the question was, where's God? I mean, he's been promising since the beginning of time that he's gonna come back and doing all this stuff. I ain't never seen it, right? So we saying, oh, it's a long time to us. He's saying, look, don't get thinking a long time to you is a short time to God, and a short time to you is a long time to God. So when you sinning and messing up, it feels like to God, you've been doing that forever, right? You know what I'm saying? But when you like, oh, man, I'm ready for God to come back, it feels like it's been forever. He's like, man, ain't nothing been but short time, right? Because he's saying the way he's looking at things is way different from us, right? That also ties into a lot of prophecy as well. All right, we can look at one day being 1,000 years, and that also ties into prophecy as well. All right, so what we look at here is we're looking at time. He told us 400, right? And it doesn't add up to that 400, but our captivity does add up to the 400. So we're looking at, for our prophecy, for what he gave us, we're looking at, does this match up to the prophecy? We know that this does not match up to the prophecy if you multiply by 1,000 or not, right? It doesn't add up to the prophecy. So now we look at, does ours? What's going on now? Any other questions? Yes, I got you on camera.
So y'all